Welcome to the Powerful Marketing Tips Podcast, created for overwhelmed business owners who want to build, run, and organize their marketing for good. And here's a brief overview of our guest. Are you a solopreneur wishing to grow your business in a way that won't become too overwhelming? Well, today we have an exciting real-life case study for you with the incredible Leeza Martinez, who is a web and graphic designer as well as a digital specialist. Leeza founded her company, Artemis Marketing, to help small business owners build and professionally run their digital marketing activities. With more than 10 years of practical, hands-on experience, Leeza understands the struggles that many solopreneurs and business owners face and is well equipped to help us build processes for successful lead generation. Leeza is also a proud member of the Powerful Marketers Association in Europe and America.
Hello, everybody. So today's episode, I would say, is very special, and it is, because today we are going to talk about how to start as an entrepreneur from zero. And I am so happy and very honored to have Leeza here with us today. Welcome, Leeza.
Thank you so much, Marius. I'm so excited to be here and share some tips on starting to be an entrepreneur from zero.
Likewise, so happy to have you here. So please share about just very briefly for our listeners, what do you do today, and who do you help?
Today I do all kinds of marketing for all kinds of businesses, from a psychologist to other marketing companies to small shops here in Colorado. And I help them build awareness around their brand and position them online, so where they have a presence and can build their communities.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you're working also as a web and graphic designer on a daily basis, right?
Yes. Web and graphic designer. I also help with social media and marketing strategy.
Okay.
But primarily I do a lot of web and graphic design.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you have done this, I would say, quite many years by now, right?
Yes, 10 years, building websites, and, the last several years I've spent working in marketing and operations, essentially. Mm-hmm. I've been doing this for a while, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy helping people at the end of the day. That's the goal, is to serve and help people really reach their potential.
Love this mindset here, and we would like to hear how you became an entrepreneur yourself.
For me, it was a very easy decision. I've always been an entrepreneur. Since I was a kid, I was the one who went knocking on doors. Hey, can I clean your yard? Hey, can I shovel your sidewalk? Or can I walk your dog? Really anything that I could think of. I was out there doing it, since I was a kid. And as I got into adulthood, I started working. At the age of 15, I had to have a worker's permit, and my first job was fast food, which, if you worked fast food, it's a great experience. It kind of gives you the skills you need to move into the world when you're an adult. But as I got into working other jobs and really, getting older and stuff, I'm not one to become stagnant. I've always wanted more. I call it leveling up. I achieve something, it's great for a while, but at the end of the day, I always seek to grow more, whether that's, my mindset, my knowledge base, really in any way possible. I'm always trying to grow more. So when I left my last job, I left with the intention of gaining financial freedom and starting something that I could call my own and put the rest of my life into building and serving people.
Mm-hmm. That's very nice thing to say, that you're here to serve people, and I love that. And I hear you saying that as a child already, like you were 15, you were already selling, your services pretty much. That's so.
Yes.
So you have like decades of sales experience here.
Yes, absolutely. It started younger. If I wanted something, I didn't want to burden my mom with getting it, and I just felt I should earn the things that were considered luxuries. So yeah, I went out and talked to all my neighbors and made great connections with them. They knew if they saw me coming on a snowy day, I was going to ask to shovel their sidewalk or their driveway.
That's great. But tell us, why did you really decided that, okay, I will go to Marile's podcast and I will share my story? I know you have a very beautiful thought here, so please share it with us.
Well, when I was offered the opportunity to come on here, of course, I was super excited. I have so much respect for powerful marketers and you personally.
Thank you.
And if I could help share how I started for people who are maybe thinking, I want to do something more with my life, or I want to take control of what my future looks like, I am all here for it. And I'm rooting those people on from the side. And if I could give them any shred of advice that impacts their life, then I'm absolutely going to do so. So I'm here today hoping that whoever is listening to this right now is taking something from it and applying it to their life somehow.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So we all know, or people who are not entrepreneurs themselves can assume that it may be a struggle. There are many things you need to do and know and understand. But if you were to talk about the benefits of being, an entrepreneur yourself, what would you bring out? What are the payoffs?
Aside of financial freedom, I think it comes with the feeling of, wow, I built this. Wow, I did this. I took something from nothing and made it what it is today. And when you're first starting, it feels like you may never get to that point. But you look back, and I'm already looking back at a year of business myself, and I'm astounded. I don't know where that time went. And it feels amazing to have built something where, like I said, I'm helping people and serving my community. And that alone feels great. So that's one thing that can be gained from it. And just, having something to call yours, building something that's yours. And I love that. And I think that at the end of the day, that's kind of what keeps me going.
But let's talk about struggles as well. When you became first an entrepreneur, what were the first or even bigger struggles?
I think, going in it's really the feeling of the unknown. You don't really know what to expect when we jump right into something, which was kind of the case for me. I just kind of was like, I'm going to do this, and this is happening today. And that's exactly how it went. But, it is, entrepreneurship is chaos. There's no structure to it. So if you are a structured individual, I recommend really knowing what it means to be an entrepreneur. You have to take care of everything from, business stuff, setting up meetings, taking care of your clients, taxes at the end of the day. Really the small things that you don't quite think about really tend to be the most surprising things at the end of the day. So I think, research and really knowing what you're getting into at the end of the day would be something that I wish I had done a little bit better when I started.
Okay. So what I hear you say is that we don't know what we don't know, right? We just jump into something, but we really don't know what to expect. And maybe it's also good, because sometimes I really believe that when you have this passion to serve, and you have this idea in your mind, or you see that you can really help people out there, then sometimes we need to take this leap of faith, right?
Absolutely. I love that. Especially if you are someone who's willing to go the extra mile for your neighbor or a friend or a stranger at the end of the day. I think serving people is probably the most rewarding thing you could do.
But when it comes to what to do exactly, was it hard for you to really focus on something, or how did you find your way here, to the design works, and share this as well?
I guess, having my experience with graphic design and web design and just in general, I left marketing. I love it. I think marketing presents challenges of its own, and it's sort of like a puzzle. So when you could figure out where the pieces fit and you create this lovely image, not only for your own business, but for other people, it's like, wow, you feel good about it at the end of the day. So, definitely that part of it is great.
Okay, that's great. But now when you imagine there are people listening to us, let's say there is somebody who is exactly like you were, like, let's say 10 years ago, what would you say to those people right now? They are thinking and struggling whether I should start my own business or shouldn't I do this? What would be your thoughts here?
I would say if you're thinking about starting a new adventure, to just do it. A lot of the time we spend thinking about, I should do this, and most of the time we don't. We look back and regret it. And I say life is short, so if you think that this is something you want to do, at the end of the day, absolutely do it. And sometimes when it doesn't work out, it kind of leads you to a different path that's even better for you. And expect that there's going to be trials and tribulations on the way. Nothing worth having comes easy. And I love that quote because it is so true. Starting a business is hard. Owning a business is hard. Being an entrepreneur is hard. At first, once you're really getting your feet wet, it's a journey. But if you have this idea, don't wait any longer. Start taking the steps, start planning, and put yourself out there. It's beautiful world out here, so join us on this side.
That's so beautifully said. But what would you say, who are the persons, or where did you get your support back then? I mean, it's very hard alone, if people are listening right now thinking, okay, yeah, I will do this, I will take this leap of faith. But, day after tomorrow, they may be in the situation that, okay, now I'm here, what's next?
Right. And this one's kind of hard because I feel that gaining support, it is tough. Not everyone that you expect to support you is going to support you. I think if you remain consistent yourself, people will start to see that and they'll be surprised. Oh wow, they're really sticking to that thing, and the support starts to come gradually. Of course, for me, it's been my family who's been supportive, and my wife who's been just my biggest cheerleader. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that support. Because there are definitely times where you feel like, oh, what have I done? What have I got myself into? And it's those moments, those laps in, mindset where you really need someone to kind of reinforce, hey, you're doing okay. It's not going to be perfect. If ever, it might never be perfect because, we're always striving to be better. So, seek support. And I also think, networking, you'd be amazed how many people you meet in networking that are willing to support you and willing to help you in any way that they can.
Yeah, I would also say that you should definitely have, somebody in your network with whom you can share those, the everyday ups and downs, really, because it is very hard to be alone, and nobody should be alone, right? So it's either, I don't know, joining those communities out there, or just putting yourself out there and networking with people, as you said, right? I think
Absolutely.
that's crucial. That's amazing.
Yeah, putting yourself out there is a huge chunk of really gaining traction and building. You have to be outside your comfort zone from the beginning. You have to put yourself out there and do things that you may not have done that can be intimidating and scary now. But I find once you've done them and faced them, they're not as scary as they were when you first started, or whatever you built up in your mind for that experience tends to be 100% different. So really putting yourself out there and finding a mentor if you can to really kind of guide you through what you're going through and understands what it means to put yourself in the position you have.
That's amazing, because growth really happens only out of our comfort zone, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, we should all have, those mentors and coaches or just friends or accountability partners around us. And I'm very happy that you have your support from your family. It's a great thing, Leeza, really. So what would be those, let's say, tips or takeaways, you would share for those people who are now thinking that, okay, yeah, I have thought about this and maybe I should, take this leap of faith and start building myself as an entrepreneur. What would you say to them?
That's a great question. I think if you can start, finding entrepreneurs that you really look up to and seeing if you could share a minute of their time and hear their experience and how they started and the things that arose for them that kind of were, uphill battles. And just like I said, really learn what it means to be an entrepreneur. I think there's kind of, it's kind of a wide variety of what it means to be an entrepreneur. You could do quite a bit and call yourself an entrepreneur. So really define where you sit in that, in that bubble and learn from other entrepreneurs. You would find that most people are willing to kind of share their story and give you some kind of advice. And the second thing I would say is to really have clarity throughout the whole process. You'll find that you reflect on having clarity even as you go on, but be sure on where you stand and what you want to do and what you want to offer and who you want to reach. And I think having this clarity from the beginning will save you a lot of headaches and just give you kind of a confidence almost, really, at the end of the day. But the biggest thing, I think, would be working on your mindset. Mindset in this field is so important. You have to be, confident and ready to take on anything. And I think if you could work on your mindset, read books that help you get to where you feel you need to be mentally, and just, really working on yourself in the beginning helps you get to where you need to go at the end of the day.
I love it. So be open-minded, learn, watch for others, right? Ask and seek for help and for advice, really, right? Because there is so much advice out there. Let's be honest.
Right. And no one way is the right way, and you'll find how you want to run things at the end of the day. But I think what's tried and true at the end of the day should really follow and implement into your business some way, some shape or form.
And I also love how that you mentioned clarity, because blurred goals will give you blurred results, right? So you need to have this clarity. But I think when you start as an entrepreneur, first you're not so clear, it takes some time to really understand how to position myself here on the market. But you mentioned earlier what I think is very very well said as well, that you should do some research, meaning that, you know, you can find this clarity by researching competitors on the marketplace and those things, right? I understand this is what you meant.
Yes. Researching, you know, whatever realm you're jumping into. And I definitely think also talking with entrepreneurs in that field as well helps kind of give you clarity and an idea of what you're getting into.
And of course, you mentioned that last, but not the least, the mindset. I think,
Yes.
I think maybe this is like something that is like a basis for everything, right? When you start.
Yes. Your mindset should be your foundation. Really, it's what gets you places. You know, when you have the mindset of I can't, or I won't, or it won't work out, you're kind of putting that energy into your mind. You're already setting an expectation that you haven't really gotten the opportunity to really see through. And this was important for me when I first started. I read The Miracle Morning when I first started, and that changed my life completely and my perspective on everything. And it's not just as far as business goes, it's even, you know, in your personal life, how that could have such a drastic change.
That's true. I'm a big fan of Miracle Morning myself and Hal Elrod, so I totally can relate here with that. But Leeza, could you share some names or books or people or entrepreneurs or podcasts or some names, you know, that you listen, or people you admire, or what you follow, because it may be very helpful. I just wrote down Miracle Morning. That's a good reminder.
It is, and Hal Elrod is amazing. His story is amazing. If you've read Miracle Morning, you know that he's truly a leader in the mindset, you know, realm. And I've put so many people onto that book, and they have the same response. This is an amazing book, and I'm on. One of my friends is on like day 103 of his Miracle Morning, and I love hearing that it's changed people's lives outside of my own. And you could join, you know, groups, Facebook that are in people that are in the same boat. They're changing their lives. They're reading this book, and it's having this impact. And I think that's so powerful. Outside of Hal Elrod, I would say, you know, there's Gary Vee, who is an amazing person, markets, and he just has such a really just amazing perspective on everything. He's very motivational, very to the point and blunt, and I think that sometimes some people need to hear that. They need it in that kind of tone. And, you know, Tony Robbins, who's also a great leader in mindset and getting past your limiting beliefs, which I think is huge as far as practice of mindset goes. And then you have, you know, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. He has the Mamba mentality, which also is life-changing as well. And as you know, as far as podcasts go, obviously, you know, Powerful Marketers is an amazing podcast, and if you're listening to this, keep listening.
Thank you.
And you know, all the women at Powerful Marketers, you guys are very inspiring and amazing individuals, and you've changed my life, and I'm sure you've changed many others' lives. So, thank you so much for that, and you're definitely one of the people that I'm inspired by, especially you, Marlies. Your story is amazing, and I have a profound respect for you, and super grateful to know you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Really, thank you so much, Leeza. That was so sweet. So, yeah, well, thank you. Really, Leeza, it is inspiring, and I wrote down all the names that you know has inspired you also as a person. And what would you say now to wrap it up? Because you know we'd like to hear very soon your inspirational song and quote as well. But just to wrap it up, you know, for the persons who are listening right now, thinking, okay, how should I start now?
Start by starting. You know, we could sit here and have these ideas and talk about things, but talking really doesn't mean action. Really just put your feet on the ground and start going is the best way to start. And don't doubt yourself, really reinforce confidence. And if you have these ideas, talk to people around you. And, I'm sure there's someone who is willing to support you, someone who believes in you as much as you believe in yourself. And at the end of the day, only you control your future. You control what your outcomes in life are going to be. So if you want something, go get it, because that's the only way you're going to have it. And I believe that anything is possible in this world. So yeah, I think that's my tad bit for you. If you want to start something, go do it, and stop thinking about it. Just go do it.
Love it. That is very powerful, Leeza. So if there are people right now thinking, oh my God, I want to reach out to Leeza, I want to, connect with her, where can people find you?
You could reach out to me, via my website, artemismarketing.co, or you could find me on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And I'd be happy to connect with anyone who, needs advice or wants to talk about my journey and how I got started, or how they should get started. I'm an open book, and I'm very much about supporting other people. Especially those who really want to change and grow. I think, if anything, I could be your biggest cheerleader. So reach out, and I'm happy to help.
That's amazing. We all need those cheerleaders around us. So make sure you connect with Leeza. We will put the links next to this episode for sure. So, but last but not the least, please share and comment your the song that always inspires you, and of course the quote as well.
So the song that I chose is a little bit different than I think you're used to getting. It is by Franz Schubert. It's Piano Trio No. 2 in E flat. And I listen to this song, not per se to get hype, but when I listen to this song, I feel like the world around me gets quiet, and I'm able to really focus and kind of transcend into the mindset that gets me going throughout the day. Well, I love, my classic rock and, my hip hop and rap and all that stuff. At the end of the day, I find myself listening to, this song and finding peace and kind of clarity, I guess, if you will. It really quiets the world around me, and I'm able to kind of dial in and focus. And if you are interested in classical music, I would love to introduce you to that song. And so I hope you add it to your playlist, and I hope that it gives you some sense of quietness and clarity around your day.
That's an amazing song, Leeza. I listened to that earlier today myself, and I can assure that it really, takes you to this quiet place where you can really focus. And I love especially that this is, classical music, because, as you know, we gather this Spotify list with those inspirational songs, and you're right, there's no classical songs right now. So thank you. That will definitely go to our Spotify list. Okay, and
I'm so happy to hear that.
And what about the quote?
So my quote is by Richard Branson, and I think that it should be something that every entrepreneur or freelance kind of lives by. And it's, if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity, but you're not sure you can do it, say yes and learn later. I've done that so much in my career, and while that is scary, I find that it's easy to learn these things down the line, and you're given these amazing opportunities that really change the trajectory of where you're heading and kind of give you an experience and a notch under your belt. And I think it also kind of displaces fear a bit, which I think is a lot of, going back to the unknown. We don't know what that opportunity holds, and it's scary. So I say, say yes to those opportunities and learn to do it later, and just ride the wave.
Love it. That's amazing, really. So, Leeza, again, we really appreciate you being here with us. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you as a client, as a friend, as our podcast guest. So we wish you all the best, of course, and I believe our roads will cross this way or another, right?
Absolutely, and I look forward to that. And I appreciate your time and the opportunity to be on the Powerful Marketers podcast. I'm super excited, and I'm thankful.
Thank you.
That's all we've got for this episode of the Powerful Marketing Tips podcast. Make sure to link up with us at our free monthly international mastermind event. Just go to powerful-marketers.com/mastermind for registration. And one thing that would really help us and other new potential listeners is if you would rate this show and leave a comment wherever you tune in to listen. Until next time, take care.